I want to take y'all back where it all started.
Let me tell you about my city, a little town where I'm from, where everybody's southern raised, just as good as they come. Backwoods and mossy oak and mud holes, and back then we only gave what the farm grow. Man, I miss some days how we played on them dirt roads, and out of towners came with respect, cause they know we all close. Yeah, southern pride, toting gun folks. Welcome to my city, I-75 South, just north of Live Oak.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when they ride. This is small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, title town, 229, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We daddy up with big trucks and Hemis, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey.
It's nothing like our dirt roads, you can bet that, son. I'm from a city, by any means, we gon' protect our guns. I hang with the rednecks and geekies. We get up in big trucks in the backwoods like Indians and teepees. This the home of the mighty, mighty Vikings. Wildcats, blazing, title town license. Winners, pretty girls with country grammar. When I say about Austin, Georgia, I ain't talking about Atlanta. This a different type of city, where the woods are pretty, but get gritty. You hear me? What you know about that 229? You can find us on the Florida, Georgia line, where I reside.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when we ride. This is small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, title town, 229, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and Hemis, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey. Moonshine and whiskey.
Some folks really don't understand how important it is and never forget where you came from. You know, when I say Lowndes County, man, I mean Lowndes County.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, spin backwoods when they ride. This is small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, title town, 229, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and Hemis, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey.
Are we ready, Mr. Producer? Are we ready? Are you guys ready? Hey, what's up? All you sports fans all across Titletown and all across the nation. When I say across the nation, you guys know what to say by now. You guys know what's coming up next. Welcome to One Lowndes, One Nation, the Viking Nation. If you're new to the program, welcome aboard. What you're going to find here is we're all very passionate, and we're going to have a very passionate conversation tonight about the first region game that we just got through playing last Friday night, and an outstanding game for that matter. But you're going to find a lot of passionate fans around here with a little bit of crazy, including myself. Include myself in that. So if that appeals to you, welcome to the show and welcome to the nation. Super fans are going to be joining us a little bit later on tonight. We're expecting the full crew tonight. Chase Garnto and Armand Rashad. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I am so thankful for those two because they have been a tremendous help on Friday nights with videography duties and still shot duties and all other kind of duties. So they've helped out tremendously. And we posted a couple of short form videos, some highlight videos this week, and I think everybody loved it. So anyway, we plan to do more of that. And listen, I wish I could share with you some things that are on the roadmap of what we have planned, but I just can't. It's just a little bit too early. We've got some things kind of far in development, but I just can't share them with you yet. David Behringer, what are you talking about? How rude. I don't know. Hecklers already tonight. I'm just kidding. Welcome to the program. Listen, we're going to have some super fans on a little bit later tonight. If you consider yourself a super fan of any team, because everybody watches this show, whether you're a Lounge fan or not a Lounge fan, you're welcome to call into the program. There's the call-in line, 229-469-1205. Now, I don't often get very many people to take me up on that offer, right? But it's still out there. So if you want to call in and opine, give us a shout at 229-469-1205. What most people like to do when they're watching the show is, I guess, a little bit shy of calling in and having their voice broadcast to all these viewers. And they're just rather type comments. And that's fine. That's fine. What this show is for y'all. Whatever you want to do, that's fine with me. But the option is out there if you'd like to call in 229-469-1205. Now, it was brought to my attention that, there was a lively conversation back and forth. I got to let you in on something. When I post stuff on Friday nights, whether it's a scoring update or the final score or whatever, I'm usually pretty busy. And that carries over to the weekend with editing photos. So I usually do not pay attention to the comments. And so sometimes, you get opposing fans on there and they'll go at it. And apparently that was the case this week. So we had a couple of fans that was brought to my attention that they were going back and forth with some Colquitt folks. But so I went to check and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad at all. It looks like some friendly banter back and forth. But anyway, let's see. David Behringer says that game was fun regardless of those other fans. David, it was an outstanding game. I'll tell you, it was a fun game. It really was. Now, I do want to start off the show tonight by going to, I'll get to the comments in a couple minutes, by going into and talking a little bit about the GHSA and some of the things that's happening across the high school football landscape, because there are some things that are being discussed now at the state level with the GHSA that I really haven't had a chance to think about very much. So I don't really have an opinion on it yet. But I'll go ahead and throw it out there to see what you guys think. The GHSA Executive Committee got together this past week. Was it earlier this week? I can't remember exactly what date. It might have been earlier this week, October 7th, whenever that was. Yeah, this week, Monday. Okay, so our very own Danny Redshaw is on that executive committee. I'm not sure if Danny made it up to the meeting with all the stuff going on in the county. Maybe he hadn't had a chance to follow up with him on that. But one of the things that they were talking about in this meeting, the football committee. The way these executive committees work is they get together, executive committee, and then they'll break out into different workshops, right? So there's a football committee and a soccer committee, tennis, all these different sports. And so there was a football specific meeting, football committee meeting. And one of the things that was on the agenda, there was actually a couple of different things. One was they're talking about providing flexibility during spring football with options for OTAs. Okay, I don't know if you remember what OTAs for. These are these padded camps that teams really, really get into nowadays. And if you're not familiar with that, during the summertime, during the off season, before, between spring practice and before fall camp starts for the new season, they'll usually go through an off-season summer routine, summer program that involves 7-on-7s. It involves padded camps, or what they call OTAs. These are organized practices between 2 or more teams, and they're usually padded. So that means it's basically full collision. They've got helmets, shoulder pads, jerseys, but they have shorts on. And the only caveat to that is that they can't take them to the ground like in a full tackle. But trust me, it is full speed collisions, right? And so the GHSA is talking about providing some flexibility during spring football with the options for OTAs and scrimmages. Here's why. They're thinking about eliminating OTAs during June. So instead of getting rid of them altogether, should they incorporate them and provide flexibility in allowing that during the spring season? right? So lots of stuff being talked about in the GHSA. And that looks like it was approved unanimously. Can't get the words out tonight, but we still don't know what that means, what the details are. So all it says in the meeting minutes is to provide flexibility during spring football with options for OTAs, scrimmages, etc. No details in there. So I got to reach out to Danny and others to figure out what those details are. What does that mean going forward? I'm assuming this is going to go into effect this next spring. What does that entail? We'll just have to wait and see. The other thing that they talked about, and they're just talking about this now, and that is, how do you put this? Reclassification. Let me just start this part of the conversation out this way. If I threw out the words competitive balance to you, what's the first thing that pops into your head? When it comes to football, when I say reclassification based on competitive balance, what's the first thing your mind goes to? When I first thought about this, I got to be honest with you. I blanked. I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So maybe you do. So that's what they were talking about. There was an article by the AJC guys that appeared in Georgia High School Football Daily. And so here was the headline: GHSA pitching new reclass plan based on success, not enrollment. You catch that? So the current way that we do reclassification is based on student population of the schools, right? Is there a flickering on the screen? There might be some internet issues tonight because my screen keeps flickering for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but if that's the case, then hopefully it's not about to go off, but we'll see. All right. So the headline was GHSA pitching new reclass plan based on success and not enrollment. So I don't know. Currently it's based on student population, but going forward, they're looking at changing that reclassification plan to more of a competitive balance model. And so here's the article. The GHSA's rulemaking authority, the 75-person executive committee, will discuss a bold plan Monday that would classify schools based on sports success rather than enrollment size starting in 2026. The proposal is called the GHSA Competitive Balance Reclassification Model. Whew, that's a mouthful. The GHSA provided GHSF Daily with its PowerPoint presentation ahead of Monday's meeting in Macon. Yeah. It calls for the 5 schools with the most successful sports programs in each class. You catch that? In each class, not all across the board, but the 5 schools with the most successful sports programs in each class to move up one class every 2 years, while the 5 least successful programs move down one class. Enrollment would no longer matter except as a starting point. The concept has the endorsement of new GHSA Executive Director Tim Scott, who will lead the discussion in Macon with Associate Director Don Core, who helped develop the model. So this is a quote. Well, it says no vote will be taken Monday, but Core said he hoped the executive committee would consider adopting the proposal. And here's the quote. The GHSA has always had schools that perform poorly on the field or on the court and that have almost no chance of winning championships. If they drop down, maybe they could have a little bit of success to build their program back where it needs to be. Schools that get moved up that are dominating a classification in all sports would be able to compete at the new classification without an issue. The competitive balance model would eliminate the contentious public-private split that currently calls, and that's what's driving this whole thing, this public-private split. To determine which schools move up or down, the GHSA would use 3 years of data, 22 through 23, 24, and 25, and use a point system to rank the schools in their classifications based on their finishes in state tournaments and meets. All right, so it goes down, and the rest of the article gives percentages and that kind of stuff. then it ends this way. It makes reclassification decisions based more on things that happen on the field or on the court and not just the numbers of students in a school where you're not class 6A just because you've got a certain number of students. I think it's important to get things more balanced. We want to give a young person a better opportunity to compete and have a chance to win. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? You know, that's different. It's a big change. Is it going to affect Lowndes? No. Is it going to affect other schools around here? Maybe. Maybe. Let me give you a prime example. My Berrien Rebels. I don't know if this proposal classifies all the sports of a school together and makes the decision like one decision for all the sports programs, or if it's sports specific. If they adopted a program like this, I would hope it would be sports specific instead of the entire athletic program. So my Berrien Rebels, they're not known as a football powerhouse, right? Never have been. And they are classified in whatever classification. So is it a bad idea using 3 years worth of losing season data to allow them to drop down one class? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it in depth, but it doesn't sound like a bad idea. What's it going to hurt? So the thought process is you take the 5 most successful programs at the top of a class, you let them move up, and the bottom least performing schools, the worst performing schools, and you allow them to move down one class. I don't know. What do you think? Let's go to the comments, see what you guys think. Behringer's all over it tonight. David Griffith says, it's blessed to be here in spite of Friday night and the hurricanes. Amen to that, David. Man, tired of these hurricanes. Oh my gosh, I'm tired of these hurricanes. By the way, we are 2 weeks post Hurricane Helene. Does everybody have their power on? Man, I'm hoping so, because not having power just absolutely stinks. I will never take electricity for granted again. Every time I walk into my house now, I'm just like, thank God there's air conditioning. Thank God there's lights. Thank God we have the money to pay for the air conditioning and lights. So Behringer says, indeed, are they doing GoFan tickets online? I'm not sure what you're asking. David, you mean for the Tift County game this week? That's a good question. I don't know, but you know what? I've got the GoFan app right here. Listen, the best way to answer these types of questions is if you have the GoFan app, just log in and see if the tickets are there. Lowndes does not do GoFan football tickets. I think we do GoFan for other sports, maybe, but I don't think we do that for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't do that for football tickets. So I'm looking up Tift County now, and it looks like let's see, yeah, Tift County is on GoFans, and I just looked it up. You can purchase Lowndes and Tift County tickets right here through GoFan. Now, obviously, there is a service fee when you go through an app like GoFan, right? So you're going to pay a little bit more, but that's cool. You're paying for convenience. At least you know that ahead of time. Now, if you want to save a few bucks, go get them at the Lowndes Athletic Ticket Office. I think through tomorrow. I think noon tomorrow. I think, and you save yourself a couple bucks. Okay, so there you go. Jason Burnett says it is $10 at the gate. Are you sure, Jason? I think we got a press release earlier this week that says it was $12 at the gate. But you may be right. Maybe they've changed it. I'm not sure. But I think that was in the press release earlier this week. All right. So I think we got answered. Behringer says that's not a good idea. This reclassification stuff that we're talking about from GHSA, if you're just now joining us, the GHSA Executive Committee just had a meeting this past Monday, where they haven't taken any vote or anything like that, but they are talking about, it's in the discussion phase now of redoing the reclassification of schools and moving away from a student population model to a competitive balance model, right? Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Okay, so Behringer says, nope. Let's go. Oh, he's talking about the screen flickering that I was experiencing. Maybe I guess it's technical stuff on my side. David Behringer says, sounds like equity. David, it could be. It could be. But I would disagree with you there because the term equity nowadays, and is usually what David's talking about, is usually referred to as, DEI. The E stands for equity. And nowadays it's been politicized. And there are many that when they describe equity, what they're talking about is it's not equality anymore. So what David is referring to is the word equity specifically. And what that usually means is in order to get to an equal outcome, you have to employ equity first. And that usually means taking some from one group and giving it to another. And that's how you achieve an equal outcome. So that's what David is referring to. Now, in this particular case, I don't think that's the case, David, because if they allowed a school to go up in classification, it's basically based on their performance. They're not forcing other schools to go down or go up or anything like that. So let me give you another example. A Metro Atlanta school that's not known for their winning traditions, but they're a bigger school, like a high school like Berkmar High School, right? The only reason I know about Berkmar is when I was going to high school at Berry, and I was on the not just football and track and tennis team, but I played on the chess team as well. And we went up to Berkmar High School for a chess tournament up there. Berkmar got some really, really smart kids up there. And not because of that, but in part of that is they don't have a very tradition-rich football program. So what's wrong with allowing a school like Berkmar to move down in classification? Listen, if you're okay with scheduling a very weak non-region schedule so kids can have a sense of winning, then you won't have a problem with this proposal at all. It's basically the same thing. Okay, basically the same thing. So I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't necessarily support it, but if they passed it, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Okay. So let's just move on with the conversation tonight, and let's go on to the. You know what? We had a game this past week, right? Some people said that we shouldn't have played it. Some people were all for playing it to get back to a feeling of normalcy, right? But we did have a region game over in Colquitt County. Now, going into that game, I asked you a question on last Thursday night's show. How good do you feel with saying that Lowndes is 5-0? Okay, so everybody agree. It feels pretty good, right? So after that game, now we're 5-1. Are you still feeling good about being 5-1 and no longer undefeated? So let me go ahead and welcome one of our super fans onto the screen, Chase Pat McAfee Garnto, right? Got the hat flipped on backwards. I get the feeling he's going to be in rare form tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome Chase onto the screen. While you guys contemplate that question, do you still feel good about 5-1 and where our Lowndes Vikings are? I'll give you my answer in a second. Some of you are going to love my answer. Some of you are going to hate my answer, but we're going to answer it. Let's go ahead and bring in Chase Garnto on the screen. How are you, Chase?
I'm good, LG.
Well, good, man.
Fantastic.
Listen, I'm just thrilled that you did not wear a white tank top to the show tonight.
I thought about it, man. I really did.
I know you did.
I really did. I really did, but I didn't have time to do the hair, so I was like, nah, I'll save that for next week.
Yeah. Listen, my buddy, Colquitt fan, Michael Jarvis is on the comment line tonight. He says, let's get this party started. He was in the comment line talking some trash last week. And so, he was going back and forth with some of our fans after the game. And so, listen, I welcome all discussion as long as everyone is civil about it. It's all not light-natured fun. So Michael asked me if he could call into the show, and I said, listen, anybody can. It's 229-469-1205. So anybody's free to call in. All right. So, what? Let me get your opinion. I'll ask you the same question I asked the audience a while ago. Chase, do you still feel good about Lowndes being at 5-1?
Man, listen, I feel fantastic
Okay. Tell me why.
because anytime it takes Colquitt a last second walk off field goal to win, not to mention they gave up, I don't know how many yards of offense, but the main one that stood out to me was the 312 yards passing
Yeah.
from a sophomore quarterback at that. Not to mention that the Waffle House was open 24/7 all night long.
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't have no answer for him.
Well, the way I see it is both offenses played very, very well, and both defenses faced some challenges.
Yeah.
That's probably the most tactful way I could put it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, how do I put this? Offensively, I think Lowndes and Colquitt both had answers.
Yeah.
I think defensively, the Lowndes halftime adjustments were great because Colquitt gassed us pretty bad in the first half in the run game.
Wait. I'm gonna have to push back a little bit. They gashed us pretty bad in the second half with their run game as well.
At times,
they were more methodical in the second half. I think they did that on purpose. Here's why I think they did that on purpose in the second half. They knew they couldn't stop our passing game. And so what do you do if you're Colquitt? You try to keep our offense off the field.
Yeah. Oh, and they done that.
And they did that. So if that was their adjustment at halftime, then they were successful at it.
Well, I think their major adjustment was, once Road Dogg got injured and they realized that we no longer had our best rushing attack.
Sure.
I think that played into what they did defensively as well. Plus, it forced us into throwing the ball, which personally, and I've told you all season, I think we throw the ball better than we run it.
We do. We've got a lot of weapons, and I have, I was nervous about going into that game because I wasn't convinced yet that we had faced stiff enough competition to put like a gold star on us. Like, yeah, this offense is capable of competing with anyone. But after Friday night, after Kell, and after Manitou, that's 3 quality programs in a row where the offense shined big time.
Absolutely.
So our offense can compete with any program in the state.
Absolutely, they can.
In the state. So I was having a conversation with one of my customers today. He's a big Valdosta Wildcat fan. And he and I were he made this comment about Jalen Carter, and I agreed with him. And by the end of the conversation, we agreed. It just dawned on me in the middle of this conversation. Do you know who Jalen Carter reminds me of as far as stature, route running, his ability to get open? Do you know who he reminds me of? Malcolm Mitchell.
I was going to say more of a Rashad Green.
Yeah.
Just because Rashad was fine making the small to short catches and then turn them into big catches.
Yeah.
Which is what Jalen does. Jalen will catch a 4-yard, little curl, and he'll turn it into 9-10 yards.
That's right. All right. So originally, I'm going to ask Armand. Armand, are you? Man, your camera's all over the place.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm driving home.
All right. Hey, Armand, let's do this. Let's since we can't see you anywhere, it's so dark. Let's send you. Let's make you audio only, so we're not distracted by the camera going all over the place. All right.
That works.
Okay. So let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see. Okay, so what you may have to do is disconnect and reconnect, just audio only. Okay.
All right. Let me do that real quick.
All right, that camera just going all over the place, kind of distracting.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so here's, I was about to ask him the same question, and here's how I was going to answer my own question. I feel really, really good about where this Lowndes program is, even the defense. I'm still not a big fan of this 3-man front, and I think that point was proven Friday night again, right? Mm-hmm. Against better running teams, we are going to have problems stopping the rush. We just are. There's just too much evidence to dispute that now.
Now, I will say this. Okay. To go through what this team went through.
Yeah.
To go through what this community went through.
Yep.
And still be able to walk into, I mean, let's face it, a hostile environment.
Yeah.
Where we're not liked. And to be able to perform and play to the level that those boys did.
Absolutely.
Nothing short of astonishing and absolutely a testament to not only these players, but these coaches.
Right.
In this program and where it's at and where it's going.
That's right.
It should be a positive note for all Lowndes fans to go, hey man, look, 2 weeks off, probably the worst disaster to ever hit Valdosta and Lowndes County.
Right.
And then Lowndes goes over on the road to play a high quality opponent who is, top 10 finish every year. And be able to play like they did, man, come on. You can't ask for very much.
That's right. So that's why you bring up a good point. And that's why after the game, I made it a point to seek Adam Carter out, went up to him and just congratulated him on, getting the team, he and those assistant coaches, getting the team as prepared as they were to play a football game against a very, very good Colquitt County team. Man, I was just proud of their effort Friday night. I don't feel good. I never feel good about a loss, but I still felt good about our team and the direction of our program after Friday night. We're having a lot of static.
Yeah, I think that's Armand.
Yeah, Armand, you may have to check in with us when you get back to your home studio, man. We're getting a lot of static on your line.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, man. I got this busted window out, trying to be
I got you.
Husband, drive the car with the busted window. So I'll be give me 10 minutes. I'll be on.
All right, man. Yeah, what Armand's referring to is, his vehicle sustained some damage during the storm, right? Big old limb busted his window out, right? So
that's his wife's car. That's what he's not telling you. That's why he's driving it.
That's right. So I made it a point to seek out Adam Carter after the game Friday night and just congratulated him. The job that he and the assistant coaches did of getting this group of players ready, even remotely close to performing at a high level. Kudos to AC and the Sunshine Band. How about we call him AC and the Sunshine Band? Adam Carter and the Sunshine Band. How about that? So let's go to our phone line. Hey, caller, welcome to the Viking Nation Live. What's on your mind?
My brother Larry Jarvis. How are you doing, man?
Is this Michael Jarvis himself?
This is the Pac-Man himself. Sitting on a cool night on the front porch with a nice cold Pepsi in my hand.
I got you.
And I believe I had made an offer that win or lose, I'd be glad for y'all to come by the store. We discuss our win Friday night and our loss Friday night. We won a heck of a ball game.
Yep.
But we didn't take nothing away from y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all came in there with the biggest, most gigantic guys I ever seen that isn't professional. I don't know what y'all feeding them boys over there, but y'all are more welcome to send the food line down the chain now. I'm telling you. But
Michael, how fun was that game to watch? Regardless of what team you were rooting for, how fun was that game to watch as a high school football fan?
I've been involved in Packers ever since I was 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 65. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Somebody asked me today, matter of fact, said, who do y'all get up for?
Yeah.
I said, anything that's inside the Valdosta line. Because I don't know what it is. We was bred that, and Chase was bred the same way. You get up for your rivals.
Yep.
It don't matter. You get up for them. And it's just always been the Valdosta teams were y'all size.
Right.
They were always like that. I remember blocking a guy on the line. He looked like he had a full beard. I talked about him like a bear. Man, this is back in 1976. And I'm going, good God, this guy come from college. But that being said, I'm not saying that it was the most exciting game I've seen in a long time in high school. Now, they say that y'all have a good one when you do the Valdosta and Lounge game, and I never get tickets to it because nobody loves me that well. So, and Chase understands that, don't you, Chase?
I do.
So, what I'm trying to get at is, y'all brought it to us. You gave us your all. We gave everything we gave you. It was all up to the refs leaning our way the last little minute, and I appreciated them doing it. But, that was, I'm gonna tell you right now, that was a fumble. I seen it perfectly. I mean, he fumbled it, and it was definitely a fumble. Now, your Marvis player now, he's a great guy. I give him that. He's fantastic. He's one of a kind. But when that man, Moultrie, outran him and took the ball and run into the touchdown with it, and then he pushes him out of bounds, and he's already halfway in the touchdown line now, So there were some people that felt like we was playing dirty, but I think we just brought it just as good as y'all did.
In a game like that, in a rivalry game like that, there's always emotions running high with players on both sides. We saw a lot of chippiness during that game. There was one occasion where I was on the lounge sideline, and there was a Colquitt player tackled our guys, and he gets up after the tackle and stares down our wide receivers coach. And it's like, wait a minute. And that's just the nature of football, I think. I wish those things wouldn't happen, but they do. It doesn't mean the kids are bad or anything like that. It's just, it happens in a football game.
Well, I got a question.
Go ahead, Chase.
You asked about what we feed our youngins. I want to know what y'all's speed training program is like.
I know what their speed training program is like.
I mean,
they put them they put those kids in front of a train, and that's how they train.
It's got to be something, because
those are the fastest kids I've ever seen, man.
Oh, those kids look like they were at a track meet.
Number 34, Jay Lamar. He's going to be going to Georgia, so y'all look for him, because I think he's going to bring back the 34 back to Georgia again. Thank goodness.
He to me, he's a little bit bigger than Deshaun Edwards, right?
He is.
Yeah. And he seems to be a little bit faster too.
He is. He's our number one back.
Yeah.
But he got his offer from Georgia from that game Friday night.
I believe it, because he had a really good game. Really good game.
Actually, for y'all. I mean, they had a lot of y'all's players.
Yeah. Now, I wish our RB1, we call him Road Dog, Aleem Brown. He got hurt early in the game, could not continue. But I wish he'd been able to play a full game, because you would have seen how special of a running back he is. I mean,
that was what I was going to ask. He got fingers stuck in the eye. The radio guys, I was listening to y'all's radio crew.
Yeah.
Right now, I just wanted to hear what they were saying about the pack, and they were saying that did he break his nose?
He did break his nose. We don't know. He's expected to, I think, miss this week. He's expected to be back pretty shortly, but don't know how it happened, but it happened.
there ain't much you can do for a broke nose. Just put a bandage around it, get in there, and go at it again. Put a guard up in front of your face, one of them bar guards that the old tackles used to use a lot.
Yeah.
But that's
Now-
all you can do.
Now, some of our fans claim that his nose was broken on purpose. I don't know if I can believe that, but that's an extreme.
Yeah, I saw him coming off, but I didn't see, him actually get hit. So I don't know, but I'm sure in all that's going on, it's hard to keep up with all of it. But hey, like I said, y'all brought it. We brought it. It was one of the best games I've seen, and it was all about coaching at the end.
Absolutely. So I think it was one of those games. I think it was one of those games where the last team that had the ball was going to win, and I think that's why. Sean Calhoun slowed down the game as best as he could to keep our offense off the field.
I was sitting up there telling my brother before the game started, I said, wouldn't it be nice if Fitzgerald could kick a field goal to win this game for us?
Yeah.
And I mean, it actually just played right down to it. I thought that was super.
Mm-hmm.
But I also found out something else too.
What's that?
Fitzgerald's a great kid. He's been working with Josh Kicker. Your radio guys told that on the radio podcast while they was up there Friday night.
Gotcha.
I heard, and I thought that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of these kids, whether it's kicking or wide receivers, quarterbacks, a lot of them, train together during the off season if they employ a private coach or for that matter. And a lot of these kids that are kickers will go to the same kicking camps. Whether it's a Coles kicking camp or whatever. Aiden Andrews is a great kicker, and he's getting even better. His leg strength is going to get even better than it already is. I think you saw that Friday night. He was kicking them halfway through the end zone. I think next year he's going to kick them all the way out of the end zone.
I think you're going to see that Fitzgerald's going to have him ready. Listen, my hat's off to you, quarterback.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about it. The man is he a sophomore?
He's a sophomore this year, yeah.
Ours is a sophomore, I think, or a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to duel it out for the next several years.
They're both young. And I can't wait to see them again next year.
Sure.
I really can't. I think it's a great game. We got to come up there to y'all's house. What do y'all call that? The Plaster Palace or Plaster Palace? Is that the name of it?
Let's get this right. It's the Concrete Palace.
Yeah, the Plaster Palace. I thought that's what
That's okay. We call y'all's the Sinky Hog Pen.
Come up next year. Chase, get a little closer now. Listen to what I said. When we play y'all again, we're going to crack your walls for you at the Palace.
No, that's right.
Now we get back. All the niceties go out the window. Now we get back to trash talking. Michael, listen, I appreciate the call, man. You're starting to break up on us, so we're going to cut you loose.
Well, my power's still on down here, but my internet and cable is still out. Everything down on this end went well as far as people surviving. I feel for you guys. I work over there with the Lowndes County people, and I appreciate, the few that come in there and aggravate me every now and then to talk football. You know.
Hey, listen, before I forget, I wanted to thank the Colquitt County community and the school system over there for taking up, donations and supplies and food and things like that, and donating them to the Lowndes County school system. So that's a high character deal that you guys had going on there. So we appreciate everything, all the gestures, all the goodwill, all the things that were said about the folks in Lowndes County, before the game. So we appreciate everything that you guys did.
Well, it's not over with yet. We got a bunch of churches and everything that's pitching in and trying to do some things too to help bring over to Valdosta. So we love you guys, and we're sorry that y'all have to go through all this, but hey, When it's all said and done, it's just all about the game, though, baby.
That's
all
right.
about
That's
the game.
right. Appreciate the call, Michael.
All right. See y'all.
Listen, that might be the most civil conversation Lowndes and Colquitt fans have ever had.
Probably. Probably. You know, listen. I tell this story all the time. Back when Greg Reed and Telvin Smith and all them played for Lowndes,
Yeah.
I was working for Loomis Armored at the time in Albany, Georgia.
Yeah.
And I had stayed late, done the vault transfer team and got them out of there. And I was coming home. And I said, I don't feel like driving all the way to Tifton and then coming down 75. I'll just scoot on down through Moultrie. I get down to Moultrie, and of course, it's 9:30ish at night. And I'm like, man, I pulled over to a little gas station that had like a little restaurant or something in it. It ain't even there no more.
Yeah.
And I pulled over and I get out, I go inside, and I'm like, hey man, y'all got a bathroom, blah, blah, blah. The guy's like, yeah, it's back there. And I noticed that they had the game on. And it was Valdosta. I mean, it was Lowndes and Colquitt playing.
Yeah.
And I remember I walked in, used the bathroom, got me something to drink, paid for it on the counter, and I said, hey, is that the Lowndes Colquitt game? He was like, yeah. I was like, what's the score? He's like, well, them old Vikings, man, they up by like 2 scores right now, but the Pack's gonna come back. I said, how many scores Greg Reed got so far? He said, oh, you a Viking fan? I said, oh yeah. He said, man, you might want to ease on out of here. He said, these boys sitting back here, they ain't very nice. I got my stuff and got out. Being over there by yourself without the rest of the Viking family, it didn't go so well back then.
That's right.
But yeah, that's just, man, look, that's a long time heated rivalry and always has been. I don't think it's going to calm down anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big a rivalry as the Lowndes Valdosta rivalry, but
Yeah.
I think it's getting there slowly.
All right, hold on. Let me do some housekeeping here. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I think that does it. Okay. Yeah, Candace, we'll talk after the show. But Claudia is a great Lowndes fan. So great Lowndes fan. Appreciate everybody that tunes into the show. Armand, you sound better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy out there today.
I get it, man. Chase, Pat McAfee there with the sound effects. I love it. Love it.
Listen, all I can say is Lowndes went hog hunting Friday night, and they got him. Jace come out gun slinging. They did their thing. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Moultrie, and Moultrie don't really need to take anything away from Lowndes because that game is one or two plays away from being Lowndes' game.
Okay, so here's the rest of my answer to the question that I had earlier in the show. And Armand, feel free to provide commentary on what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Since 2013, Lowndes has not been the standard in our region. That's going to hit some people in the gut, that comment. And since 2013, Colquitt County has been the standard in our region. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Since 2013, when Rush Probst got to Colquitt County, his first year was 2008. And they played over in Martin Stadium, and we beat them 51-0. Then the next year, we beat them 31-6. Then the next year, we beat them 31-27. And you see that trend. What I started noticing was that those games were getting tighter and tighter. And then in 2010, they beat us 34-7 over there in Moultrie. We got them the next year over in Moultrie 17-14. But ever since 2013, with the exception of 3 games, they have owned us. So that's why I say Colquitt was the standard in our region since 2013. And we have been playing catch up ever since. with the exception of 3 games since 2013. Okay. So what I'm seeing now and what I saw this year was that gap is starting to narrow again. The last 5 seasons, they've beaten us 4 times. Okay. The only one that we won was 2021 in a shootout at Martin Stadium, 52-31. Then they beat us the next year, 42-14. But the last 2 years, 52-34, they beat us last year with not a very strong team, right? And then this year, after a 2.5 week layoff with all the downtime, and let's just admit it, we were probably a little bit rusty starting that game. Okay. And it came down to a last second field goal with 2 seconds left for Colquitt to pull it out. So that's why I say I think the tide is starting to turn because Lowndes has closed that gap. And we're starting to see, in my opinion, the real Lowndes Vikings start to stand up in this region. Now, if we can solidify it the rest of this season and run the table, beat Camden convincingly, beat Valdosta in the last game of the regular season in the Wintersville Classic, I think you can easily say the Lowndes swagger is back and we are well on our way of reclaiming this region. All right. I know that was a mouthful and I know it's going to sound controversial to some people. What do you think, Armand?
See, I put the glasses on, right? I put the glasses on for this section, for this question. So has Lowndes been the standard since 2013? Well, we went to the state championship, made it to the state championship game in 2019. But as far as the rivalry, if you're comparing Colquitt to Lowndes County, Colquitt's been up. There's no doubt about it.
Correct.
But there is a standard at Lowndes House. You got to think about it. Lowndes, the torch passed from Valdosta to Lowndes for a minute, went back to Colquitt, and now it's kind of going back and it's been going back and forth. Even though Colquitt's been winning a lot lately, I somewhat agree, but at the same time, I don't agree. Because listen, any coach that in these surrounding states, I'm not saying the areas, this states, if the job opening comes up for Lowndes, that's where they want to be at, right?
Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying the Lowndes is a bad program. It's always been a great program and a good job. But what I'm saying is, as far as athletic performance on the field, Colquitt has been the king of the mountain since 2013.
Yeah. I can say that. I can somewhat agree with you with that. Because they have, the record shows they have been better than us. Especially over the last 5 years, they've been better than us. So since 2020, they've been better. But I can't say that they're the standard anymore. That program hasn't been the same since Prost left.
And that's my point. I think with the stabilization of the coaching staff, some people like Adam Carter, some people don't. I think he's got the program going in the right direction. And so there is stability, there's strength and stability with Lowndes. You're always going to have the resources. You're always going to have the facilities. You're always going to have the athletes. And now when we start to put all those 4 pieces together, those 4 pillars in a stable environment, that's why I think you're starting to see the Lowndes talent start to rise back up to the top.
Let me say this about Coach Carter, because I know a lot of people think I'm a detractor. I'm not a Coach Carter detractor. I like what he's doing with the program. Our kids are getting more looks than I don't know how many times. When the last time that you can say, "Dang, look at all the kids that are getting all these offers," and he has the kids going in this program going in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything, like these kids fought their heart out last Friday, played until the last second, was in the game. I mean, so the kids have bought into the program, and we as fans need to buy into it as well. So what I tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of the 3-3, but I'm a fan of the defense because that defense is playing hard and they're playing a lot more discipline. I don't agree with every offensive play call, but guess what? We're putting points on the board. We're filling up the stat sheets, and these kids are getting offers. So Coach Carter and his staff, I don't know, it's taking some traction, but the longer he's here, the more we'll get to know him,
That's
and
right.
the easier it should be to support the program. So with that being said, regardless of what happens the rest of the year, you can see the progress that's being made. And
Right.
so for that, I'm a fan. He's won me over. So
yeah, I think most Lions fans would agree with you. There are still some holdouts that are waiting to see, if we truly do rise back up to the top. I think we're well on our way. I think the time to jump in with both feet and support this program is now. Chase, what you going to say?
I mean, look at it like this. We talked to our buddy Cole Moore several times over the last season and a half or so since Justin Rogers got there.
Right.
One of the main things that Cole has said on multiple occasions, all right, is once the fan base buys in, it don't matter how much the team buys in, the team buy-in is going to be there because they believe in their coach.
Yeah.
All right. Once the community buys in, that's when it switches. That's when the change is there. All right. So if you don't want to buy into what Coach Carter's selling, these kids have, and that speaks more about him than us not buying in. Okay. Because we as fans, we need to buy into whatever the kids are buying into.
Yeah.
Because it's our job to support them. It is our job to support that coaching staff, whether we like them or not, whether you agree with their scheme or their whatever. Support them anyways. Show up on Friday night, cheer your butts off. Don't and don't run around during the week talking about, man, if Carter just get away from that 3-3 stack, man, I tell you, dog, I don't understand it. Stop all that. Stop all that. Because trust me, I talk to these players, man, and they believe in it. They really do.
Well, until I see the 3-3 stack work, I'm not going to be a fan. I'll just be honest with you, man. I'm just not there. I love the direction of the program, and I hope I'm proven wrong with this 3-3 stack, but I just don't see it yet.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I want to. I'm going to ask this the only way I know how.
Yeah.
Are we more concerned with winning a region title, or are we more concerned with winning a state title?
Both.
Which one's more important?
Well, obviously the state title.
Okay, then.
Yeah. You can be a 4th seed, barely making it to the playoffs, get hot, and still win a state title.
If you want to beat these North Georgia teams, throw the ball all over the field, 3-3 stack will work.
Well, this is what I say.
It'll keep it around.
This is how I feel about it. I want to win the region. I never want to lose to Colquitt, never want to lose to Valdosta, never want to lose to Camden, Tifton. I never want to lose to any of those teams, right? So I want to beat all of them and still win, and then go on and win a state championship.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is that, in the grand scheme of things, it's just one game. The ultimate goal is still ahead of us. Even if we don't win the region, let's say Colquitt runs the table and we're coming second place. Well, everything is still in front of us, right? Our ultimate goal is still in front of us. And if you ask anybody who's playing, would they rather have a region championship or a state championship? They're going to say state championship.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, everything's in front of us. We got Tifton, man. And my last time I went to Tifton, I tore up some blue grass. So let's go ahead and let's have a big Friday.
I'm calling it now. Mr. Waffle House is going to go for more yardage this game than he did last game.
Okay. I will tell you. I will tell you guys. You prefer, to answer your question, go back to your question, Armand. You prefer to win a state championship.
Yeah.
But the path to that state championship is much easier if you win a region title first. Let me give you a case in point. In 2019, you referenced 2019 earlier in the show, Last time we played for a state championship, right?
Yeah.
We played Marietta and got beat. We won a region title that year by going undefeated in the regular season. And then you know what that allowed us to do? It allowed us to play at least the first 2 games in the playoffs at home, guaranteed. And then by winning coin tosses, we played 4 straight playoff games at home. So that's why my a lot of my focus is winning a region title, because it does help you because listen, would you rather play a number 1 seed in the first round, or would you rather play a number 4 seed in the first round? I know you got to beat everybody that's on your schedule in the playoffs, but I'm talking about just a little bit easier path in the playoffs.
And you're right, Larry, because like I can remember we that year we made it to the Dome my junior year. We went on the road. We went to, and these were like grueling trips. We ended up going to the Savannah area. Then we played Bradway Institute and Benedictine, and then had to go to the Dome.
Was that 1980?
No,
99, right?
96.
96, okay.
Yeah, that was 96. And let me tell you, it was, as it kept going on, like by the time we got to Benedictine, it was like, wow, this trip is taking its toll on us. You know, we won, but you know, we were tired. Like it was just like it's just grueling. And so you're right. When your region, and that sets you up for, you know, less travel and everything else like that. So you're absolutely right when it comes to being able to have those playoff games at home, because it's nothing like being at home. So,
but sometimes you, as a coach, you got to look at it and go, do I really want that number 1 seed? Because you got to look at.
Oh man, don't talk to me about, you know, purposely trying to become a number 4 seed. Come on now.
I ain't talking about like becoming a number 4 seed. I'm talking about maybe dropping down to a 2 seed or.
Listen, we have talked about it in the past, and you know, it's long been speculated among high school football fans that there have been some coaches that we always suspected that, you know, the last few weeks of the season, they would look at the bracket, see how they're shaping up to try to go ahead and position themselves. But you're right. You know, sometimes the number 1 seed gets a draw in the 3rd round, and you're playing a monster in the 3rd round instead of the semifinals with state championship.
In fact, you know what? You know what's crazy? That now you say that. My senior year, we were number 1 in the state, the number 1 seed, and we had to go on the road.
Yeah.
In 97, which was crazy to us. Like, why did I thought we were in the region to be able to stay home? No, they had us on the road.
Yeah.
So GHSA ain't never paid us, gave us no pay. So that's why I got a bump with them.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about some of the stats Friday night, and then we'll jump ahead to this week's game against Tift County. Okay, so, you know, our offense, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the game, played very, very well. Did it surprise you? I know what Chase is going to say, but did it surprise you that we had more passing yards than rushing yards?
No.
Okay.
I told you Colquitt couldn't defend the forward pass. You told me I was crazy.
I did tell you that.
Well, what couldn't Colquitt do? They couldn't defend the forward pass.
Yeah. Listen, when you take a look across the board, you've got Marvis Parrish sometimes lined up as receiver. You got Jalen Carter. You got sitting at tight end Aiden Sifa. You got number 12. Is that Jaquan Thomas? Is that his name? Jaquan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaquan.
Yeah, and so you got a very, and sometimes Road Dog is lined up wide as well. Mm-hmm. Then you got running backs that are very, very capable receivers coming out of the backfield. Then you've got a quarterback in Jace Johnson that is growing up by leaps and bounds right before our eyes. Chase, you told me something about Jace that I really didn't notice before during that game. We were talking about his quarterback play, and you said something to me that caught my attention. Like, yeah, he's right. So listen, yes, I did say Chase is right. If you ever bring it up again, I'll deny it.
Somebody, hey, make sure we get this loaded onto YouTube. I want to cherish this moment.
Chase said, watch how patient he is as a quarterback. Even when he's got pressure, instead of automatically pulling the ball down and running, he's trying to extend the play, looking for an open receiver. And I saw that throughout the entire game. And so he's doing this as a sophomore, which is very, very impressive. So good call out, man. Yeah, he's growing up right in front of our eyes.
But here's another thing that and let's face it, that is an extremely hostile place to play because the fans and everybody are right on top of it.
That's right.
So it's for a sophomore QB because let's face it, the QB is a position that is easy to rattle on the road because of the noise and the environment and fans talking and everything else. It's easy to rattle.
Yeah.
But for a sophomore quarterback to go in there, keep his composure, never show any sign of frustration at all. He never, ever wavered. He stayed the course. He stayed with his guys. And I don't know what they talk about in the huddles. I really don't. I don't know what they talk about on the sidelines. But these kids are meshed so well together.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell by the way he got in trouble several times Friday night. And Aiden Seafudge, Jaquan Thomas, Jalen Carter, all those guys were working their way back to him every time he got into trouble and got to rolling.
Yeah.
They were trying to get back to him, trying to bail him out of trouble.
He throws a very pretty deep ball.
Oh man, his deep man, look, that deep ball is so pretty. It's got an in-flight movie. It's so pretty.
You know, it was nice to see a couple times when Jalen Carter, as fast as he is, not even have to break stride, and the ball just drops right in the breadbasket. You know, that was pretty outstanding.
But he's been doing that all year, man. All year he's been doing that.
Yeah, so every once in a while, I've noticed that when he gets a little bit of pressure, especially in short and intermediate pass, sometimes he'll rush it and throw balls low, but that'll just get better with time. You know,
and I'm okay with that. It's the air melting them over the middle, and they get hit, and they wind up in safety's hands.
That's right.
They won't. If you skip one on the ground, I'm okay with that.
Yep,
I really am. Because you can play another down. But if you throw an interception,
wait a minute. I said it again. Okay, I got to stop doing that. I said Chase was right again. That's it. I'm not doing it anymore.
Hey, welcome to the Coach Chase show.
Armand.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what do you expect against Tiff County this week?
Lions by 50.
Lions by 50.
I don't know how we get to it, but Vikes by 50. I really expect. I really do expect them to beat Tipton by 50, legitimately. But I think you're gonna see the defense go. They're gonna tighten up, and I think the offense gonna keep rolling along because I don't know if we got Road Dogg back, so we're probably gonna lean a lot more on the pass than we have in in the earlier game. Yeah. And listen, we got too many weapons. We have too many weapons for it not to be Lions by 50. So that's what I got. I expect complete domination.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything bad about the Tiff County program because I just don't know much about the new schemes that they have with the new first-year coaching staff they have, right?
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
It's Tifton. Lions by 50.
Listen, Tiff County's always been one of those schools that I don't care if they're 0-9 playing Lowndes.
They'll sneak up on you.
They sneak up on you, and they always play us tough. I don't know what it is, right? They always play us tough.
Look, I will say this. Go ahead, Armand.
Look, I'm gonna tell you back. We played in the monsoon in 1997. I won Player of the Week. I was coming off a concussion. Concussion protocol wasn't like it was, and I got 10 tackles, 3 sacks, and like 4 tackles for loss. It's
Well,
Lions
who's
by
counting?
50. We're gonna beat them.
I love every once in a while. Listen, man, what did those Tiff County Blue Devils do to you that has this so much animosity coming out of you tonight?
Listen, Tiff County basketball program has always been top notch, and they beat us by 50.
Oh my gosh! All right,
whenever we can give it to them, we got to give it to them. And the football field seemed like the only place we've been able to give it to them on a regular basis. So, Vikes by 50.
You know, historically, it's been a pretty close series. We lead the series 32-24, going back all the way to 1968. Okay, but in the last decade or so, we've beaten them more times than we've lost to them. A lot more times than we've lost to them. So they've been struggling a lot. But back in 2020, we beat them 17-13. Last year, in 2021, we beat them 26-17. Right. And so through the years, they've had a way of, if we approach that game a little overconfident, maybe that's always been the case. We approach these games sometimes a little overconfident, and they have the ability to hurt our feelings because they do usually have at least some athletes that are pretty good. And if we're not on our toes that night, they can hurt our feelings. Okay.
Well,
I don't think tomorrow night is going to be one of those nights.
No, I don't think so either, because I think, number one, we're confident. Not overconfident, but we're confident.
Yeah.
Here's the main thing. These boys are going to come out intended to prove a point.
Yeah.
They're going to come out wanting to prove a point. Listen, my only advice is we don't play like my nose.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we don't play down to our level of competition. We just walk in, put the foot on the gas, keep it there all night.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
listen, everybody expects Richmond Hill to be a pretty good team this year, right? I mean, everybody that I've talked to that has any knowledge about this region expects Richmond Hill to play well this year. So why am I bringing up Richmond Hill? Well, Tiff County played Richmond Hill last week.
Richmond win.
What's that now?
Richmond Hill got a struggle win.
Richmond Hill got a struggle win at home. They won 21-17. So we can't take this Tiff County team too lightly. Because any given, the old cliche, any given Friday night, any team can win. I don't think tomorrow night is going to be one of those Friday nights, but you never know. Now, in this game, Tiff County.
Let me just say this too. We can't let Colquitt County beat us twice. What I mean by that is that you know it's the last second loss. You can't be so hung up on it. That's one game that you have to take the good from it and then throw everything else out the window.
Exactly.
And refocus. So you can't let them beat you twice. That's the biggest thing. And that's something I told one of the players. I said, don't let them beat you twice. Time to refocus and and look and get ready for Tipton. And that's my message to any of the players watching. Y'all know who I shared their information with, and I'm pretty sure the coaching staff is saying the same thing. Don't let them beat you twice. That game's over with. Can't change it. Can't do nothing about it. Let's focus on Tipton.
That's right.
But let me use the words of the great one, the GOAT. Well, I call him number 2 because Bobby Bowden always be 1 in my book. Nick Saban. All right. It is easy to motivate your kids after a hard-fought loss. It is hard to motivate your kids.
Listen, I am going to put on the screen the best comment this show has ever seen. And we've done a lot of shows. I got Armand's attention all of a sudden.
If you put John Carroll's comment up there, Larry.
No, not that one.
Okay, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Don't let Tifton be our Vanderbilt.
I forgot the Gumps lost to Vandy. The Gumps lost to Vandy. That's funny. Listen. Every now and then, I love to point and laugh. And listen, everybody who pays Georgia Power their electric money and they scream "Roll Tide." Ha! Hey, Gumps, you lost to Vandy. I like to point and laugh at that.
Errol Vendor, that has got to be the best comment that has ever hit the airwaves on this show. I appreciate you putting it out there. That was funny, man.
I guess you could say don't let Tifton be Alabama either.
What's that now?
Don't let Tifton be Alabama.
Yeah.
Listen, nobody will ever confuse Tifton with Alabama. Like nobody will ever.
You got a point. You got a point.
Alabama.
Chase,
what?
Don't be a hater, man. Don't be a hater.
I'm not. Y'all's coach is going to be gone in a year or two anyway.
He may be, but he's not gone now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Before we get off these kids here, see what you did, John Carroll. I didn't even reference his comment. Chase saw it and see what it turned into. You guys, man.
The Gumps lost to Vandy. That's funny.
You call them the Gumps?
The Gumps.
I gotta remember that one. I got an Alabama that I do business with. I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
that's funny.
All right. So if Chase is Pat McAfee, is Armand Nick Saban?
Nick Saban? Nah, I'm not.
Oh, that's
nah.
Kirk.
That's Dirk.
That's Kirk Herbstreit.
Oh, he's Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah, that's Herbstreit.
I got you. Am I Lee Corso?
Man.
Oh man, come on now! I wasn't gonna do you like that.
With that, I'm talking about with the hats and the things.
Oh, the headgear.
Yeah,
I always was a fan of the headgear, man. I really was.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so here's how the region shakes out. And guys, y'all stick with us for a couple more minutes as we end this. So the region so far, Richmond Hill is 1-0 in the region. Valdosta is 1-0. Colquitt is 1-0. Camden, Lowndes, and Tift County are all three at 0-1. This week, Richmond Hill is at Camden County. Valdosta is hosting Colquitt County. Going to be a really good game over there, right? And Colquitt County, let's see, I just entered that one. Lowndes goes up to Tift County. Those are your three region games. So Lowndes, I'm assuming that all three of us agree that Lowndes is going to be probably 1-1 after tomorrow night. Who do you guys like in that Valdosta Colquitt game?
I like Valdosta.
You like Valdosta?
That's going to be a battle of some of the top running backs in the state.
Yeah. Okay, so I think people know by now Valdosta's got a very strong running game. Very strong running game. And what I like about their offense this year is they've improved their passing ability as well. Todd Robinson has turned into a better passer than he was last year.
Is he healthy to play this week? He had gotten hurt last week.
I think he's going to be fine.
Okay.
Now, if he doesn't play, Colquitt's going to win that game. He's the most important player on Valdosta's team.
I was about to say the same thing. You got healthy Todd Robinson they're playing at Cleveland Field.
That's right.
You got to go the Cats on that one there, based off what I've seen from Colquitt. So.
Yeah, and I think Valdosta is going to study that film, our film against Colquitt. They know they've got a pretty strong two-headed monster in Colquitt's running game, and so I think Valdosta is going to be a little bit better prepared just because they've got better film than we had, better preparation time as well, and so and because they're playing at home, I think Valdosta beats them probably by 10. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know, but you know what? They got a short week. They lose a day of recovery. And even though they didn't, they rolled all over Camden. If they were a little nicked up, you lose a day of recovery. So I got Valdosta by 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chase, I'm assuming that you got Valdosta winning as well.
I got Valdosta winning, but Man, I don't know that. I don't know, man. I know that their defense is extremely fast, but Larry, me and you mentioned several times that offensive front for Colquitt is big.
Yeah.
Huge.
Man, they are monsters.
They are.
And they block really well in that run game. Now,
They do.
Team, they don't block so well in, but
Yeah, they do. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, just like we had with Colquitt. I think both offenses are better than both of their defenses. And so you're probably going to have at least probably low 30s for both offenses.
you know what would make me laugh from a good, healthy place?
What's that?
If Valdosta kicks a last second field goal to beat Colquitt.
Wouldn't that be poetic justice? Michael Jarvis says Pack wins 41-35. So he's expecting a high scoring game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Candace makes a very good point. Both are very run heavy. You know, Colquitt's got a very young quarterback, and it showed Friday night. His passes aren't quite on point yet. I think he's getting there, but aren't quite there yet. Valdosta's got a better passing game, I think, than Colquitt. But you're right, Candace. They are very both run heavy. That's for sure.
I'll be honest with you up front. I've got Valdosta's running back ranked higher than Colquitt's running back.
Yeah.
I think Deron Foster is.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I've got Deron Foster at number 2 as the number 2 back in the state.
I also like.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I like Valdosta's running back, Fennell, Marquise Fennell, number 4. He's a sophomore, but that dude's good. That's a name to listen out for, to know. Here's a name to know around these parts. Marquise Fennell. He's a good one. He transferred from Valwood into Valdosta.
Sophomore, junior.
I think he's a sophomore.
All right, so final region game is Richmond Hill going to St. Mary's to go to Camden County. Who do you guys like in that game?
I like Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill by 17.
Richmond Hill by 17.
I'm gonna have to go against you on this one, Armand.
Okay.
I think Camden gonna be a little mad. I think they're probably gonna be a lot mad. So I'm gonna say Camden by 14.
So here's the way I see this game. Camden, like many in the region, had a very soft non-region schedule as well. So they didn't really prepare for region play.
Yeah.
And we saw that when they played Valdosta. Their defense was just not very good against Valdosta's rushing attack, right? And Richmond Hill is known as a rushing team. They've always been a very strong rushing team. And they're a senior-laden team this year. I think Richmond Hill is going to go down there and give Camden all they want. But because they're playing at home, I think Camden wins this one probably by a touchdown or less.
All right. Yeah, Chick-fil-A. I'm willing to put a Chick-fil-A sandwich from the from the.
Listen, you might be able to get Pat McAfee there to take your bet. By the way, Chase, you owe Michael a case of Pepsi.
Yeah, I got to get him a case of Pepsi. Yeah, I'm kind of like Uncle Shay Shay now, Armand. We put some new on it, but that'd be about it.
But I don't know. I'm just like I said. For some reason, I got Richmond Hill winning big, like by 17. This is what I got. But
now I'm hoping. I forgot to make one point in the Valdosta versus Colquitt game. Now there is a selfish reason. There is a selfish reason that I want Valdosta to win this game. You know what that is?
The points for, the points against.
It keeps our hopes alive for the region title.
Yeah.
Because we're hoping for a 3-way tie at the top.
Yep.
And that happened in 96.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
And so with the point spread, Colquitt and Lowndes being 3, and I think it is points given up, not points scored, but points given up to the team. So we need Valdosta's defense to play really well.
See, I think it should be based on point differential. What you lose by.
So,
Yeah.
so anyway, so I'm hoping for Valdosta to win just because of selfish reasons. It just keeps our hopes alive in the region. That's all. Okay, guys, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in with another fantastic episode. Listen, I hope you guys know by now, when you tune into the show, we are going to have a good time. You're going to get upset a little bit, disagree with some of the things they would say. You're going to laugh a whole lot. But more importantly, we come together as a community to celebrate our football program. And just keep that in mind. At the end of the show, we're all Vikings. And so with that said, on behalf of Chase Garnto, Armand Rashad, I'm Larry Godwin. You guys have been watching another episode of the Viking Nation Live. As always, may God bless every single one of you, and go Vikings.
Go Vikings.
Go Vikes.